to shop around for something new. I thought I'd stop and grab a bite when I was through. I looked around for someplace new. Then it occurred to me where I had parked the car, there was a most attractive French cafe and bar. It really wasn't very far. The waiter showed me to a dark, secluded corner, and as my eyes became accustomed to the gloom, I saw two people at the bar who were so much in love that even I could spot it clear across the room. Guess who I saw today, my dear? I'd never been so shocked before. I headed blindly through the door. They didn't see me passing through. Guess who I saw today? Guess who I saw today? Guess who I saw today? I saw you.
91.3 WVKR Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. The incredibly talented 23-year-old Samara Joy. Guess who I saw today off the Grammy-winning album Linger a While. She was just awarded 2 Grammys, one for Best New Artist and one for Best Jazz Vocal Album. It's such an amazing talent. She doesn't sound her age, definitely an old soul going on there. She will be one of the many incredible acts that will be performing at this year's Saratoga Jazz Festival up in SPAC. Now, let me get Danny on the line. Let me do this correctly. Danny?
Hi,
we've got you. Okay, beautiful. Always a good sign when I don't disconnect my guests, you know? Let me do a brief introduction to the listeners here of Local Motion. I'll also just start off by asking people, if they haven't already, please consider just subscribing to the YouTube channel Local Motion on 91.3 WVKR. Today's guest, Danny Melnick, has produced over 100 music festivals in Europe, Japan, and the U.S. He's worked with legends like James Taylor, Paul Simon, Bobby McFerrin, Diane Reeves, Ravi Coltrane, Bela Fleck, Chaka Khan, Wynton Marsalis, just to name a few. Some of his accomplishments include a world tour commemorating the 50th anniversary of Miles Davis's Kind of Blue recording, North American tours celebrating the Monterey Jazz Festival's 55th anniversary and the Newport Jazz Festival's 60th. Concerts at Carnegie Hall as part of the JVC Jazz Festival and a Blue Notes Records 4-month-long 70th anniversary tour. Danny serves as the artistic director of Carnegie Hall's The Shape of Jazz series and is producing partner and artistic director of the Freihofer's Saratoga Jazz Festival at Saratoga Performing Arts Center, a.k.a. SPAC, This year's Jazz Festival runs June 24 and 25. And with that, a warm welcome to Local Motion, Danny Melnick.
Thank you so much, Rita. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem. You and I met at the Falcon. I think you were doing a great series there with Lee, the Sunday Jazz series. And I started talking with you and found your career to be such a passionate one of someone that just loves music first and foremost.
Yeah, thanks. And, I was just listening to Samara Joy, and, we had her at the Falcon last spring.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a really beautiful, incredible night. And now, of course, those days of her playing these little clubs might be over. But, she is really such a special and incredible artist. And it's just such a joy to not only be able to work with somebody like her and her team, as she's, exploding on the scene, but also in such an intimate and beautiful club like the Falcon. So, you and I met there, and of course, we both love that place a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such an important part of what happens in the Hudson Valley. And I just had a really, special time throughout this last year working with Lee on this Sunday Jazz series. After Tony passed away, I had some federal funding that I had gotten from a grant to a lot of independent music producers and clubs and venues, and I used some of that money to support the series that I booked originally, and to give these artists money and more money in addition to what they make at the door. And then I did it again this past fall into the winter with some funding that I got from an organization called the Jazz Coalition, which is something that my colleagues Bryce Rosenblum and Gail Boyd and I started during the pandemic to help raise money for jazz musicians during the heat of the pandemic. And we had some extra money in the kitty to support live, performances of these artists. So we did that also. Lee is now moving forward on his own again,
Mm-hmm.
with things at the club, but I'm hoping to, somehow be able to keep helping him one way or another in the future. But,
absolutely.
that's what's
Well,
happening at the
I
moment.
know that everything was, there was a lot of gratitude behind everything that you did, both for not just the Falcon, but also the musicians. They could not have been happier for what was going on during the pandemic. Now, Danny, I want to start and go back a little bit and say this is your life, Danny Melnick. I always find interesting, whether I'm talking to photographers, artists, how people got their start. So you grew up in Long Island. Tell me about the introduction of music in your world.
So I grew up on Long Island. I'm now 55. I was born in 67. And in the late 70s into the early 80s, as I was, becoming a teenager, not only was I obviously introduced to music by my parents, and they were really into doo-wop and Paul Simon and Garfunkel and Neil Diamond and Billy Joel. But I started to get into classic rock right away as like a 10, 11, 12, 13-year-old. And still to this day loves all of that classic, progressive rock, British rock, from The Who to Yes and Genesis and everything else. And I played clarinet for quite a while at school as well as a kid. But when I was about, 16 or so and got my driver's license, I got a job at a record store at a shopping mall.
Roosevelt Field?
At Roosevelt Field.
I'm from Long Island, too. What can I say?
Yeah. So I worked in the cassette department, and I made $3.65 an hour.
Love it. Minimum wage.
But minimum wage in those days. But it was not only an amazing experience to work, quote unquote, in the music business, but also because I was able to get, discounts on all the records and then CDs started to come in, a couple of years after that. And it was just this magical time for me, and I realized at that time that music was not only something that I loved to listen to, and I was, a pretty decent player at the time, but I really felt like I could make a go of it somehow as a career. And so I wound up going to American University in DC, and I did a junior semester in London junior year, and I worked at an internship at Wembley Stadium and Wembley Arena. And that was really life-changing. It was an amazing semester there, unbelievable concerts and soccer matches and what have you, and just really like, seriously life-changing. And when I came back as a senior, I got an internship at Blues Alley Jazz Club in Georgetown, graduated in '89, came home, and somehow I still to this day don't know how it happened, but I got a job at the Blue Note in the Village, and I worked at the Blue Note for about a year.
Now, when you went to
and then wound up
college, you
with George
studied.
Wein. So it's just
You studied economics, right, in college, not music
yes,
or
that's
business or
correct.
any of that. You were an economics major.
Yeah, I was an economics major. I felt that sort of overarching liberal arts education for me at the time was something that I would really, enjoy, and that I wanted to get a better handle on sort of, large scale, macro economic theory and understanding, and also dig into the nuances of that as well. But it gave me a really good, well-rounded sort of knowledge and education about money, about business, about economics, and it has served me very well.
Oh, yeah.
During my lifetime, it really has. It's an amazing thing how you think sometimes when you're at high school and college and none of this stuff matters, but for me, it definitely mattered, and I also got to do a lot of other things, at school in terms of liberal arts education and all sorts of different types of courses. And then, of course, in London, that was just an amazing experience. So
what a great experience. That like then you just learned everything at Wembley, front of house, back of house, everything, right?
Everything. Every month they moved me to a different department. So I did beer sales to the public, and I did box office management, and I did stage production work, and all of the things that happen in those venues. From department to department, they just kept moving me around, and I had a taste of all of it. And the internship with the box office experience that I got at Wembley actually wound up sort of getting me my job with George Wein in 1990 doing the box office management for JVC Jazz Festival New York, which was supposed to be a 3-month, temporary position with Festival Productions. And I wound up working with George for 27 years. So
I love this.
It really was. The internship and the box office at Wembley set me off to
your path.
Wind up, at Festival Productions, and then I was off to the races.
Now, George Wein is a legend. Okay, was a legend.
Yes.
Tell me how that started, because I've done some homework and I know you wrote a letter, but tell me what gave you the gumption to do all that.
I worked at the Blue Note for about 9 or 10 months. I was getting kind of burnt out. I was, there all day and night, 6-7 days a week, and I loved it. And I mean, in those days, that the club was presenting Ray Charles and Tony Bennett and Jack DeJohnette and, Chick Corea. I mean, just Sarah Vaughan. I mean, it was just totally mind blowing. But I really wanted more. And I had heard about George and the festivals. And I literally wrote this cold letter to him and put it in the mail. And I followed up a couple weeks later, and the receptionist answered the phone, and she said, "You have to speak to John Schreiber, who is now the CEO and president of NJPAC in Newark. But at the time, he was vice president at Festival Productions, Inc. And John answered the phone, and he said, "I have a pile of resumes here. Let me find yours." And he actually said to me, "I see that you have box office experience. We're hiring somebody for the New York JVC Jazz Festival box office. Deborah Ross, who's George Wein's assistant, is interviewing those people. I'll send you to her and see what happens."
Wow.
And so Deborah said to me, "I'm happy to have you come in. I'm honestly speaking to a few people, and I have somebody who seemingly has more experience than you, who's a bit older than you, that I'm really leaning towards, but why don't you come in for an interview?" And I went in for the interview, and I got the job.
Wow.
And they said to me, this is only a few months, just a few months. And then I just never left, for years and years and years. And I mean, good things happen sometimes. And fortunately for me during those times, I mean, these things all clicked. The timing was right and the opportunities were there. And I, was able to make those things happen. And,
Amazing.
I don't know.
Amazing. You've had amazing shows. When I look at your bio, we could sit here all day and this whole hour and not get through everything that you have done. What comes to mind? I don't know, nobody's got favorites, right? But memorable, like things that stick out, some of the concerts that you've produced, Danny.
You know, it is true when I close my eyes and think about the kaleidoscope of times and artists and venues. You know, I went to Japan 4 times to produce festivals there on George's behalf, and we had Dizzy Gillespie with us and Nina Simone
Jeez.
and a lot of other phenomenal artists. Those were always, you know, really unbelievable, beautiful experience. I've done literally hundreds of concerts at Carnegie Hall with every artist you could ever imagine. I mean, for me, you know, producing tons of Keith Jarrett solo and trio concerts at Carnegie for almost 20 years. I worked at Royal Albert Hall in London, you know, many times, and you know, a number of other famous venues all over the world. So it's just sort of like this big mashup of amazing things. But even, you know, quite frankly, Rita, like doing the things that I did at the Falcon was like some of those nights were just mind blowing. I mean, these intimate, beautiful concerts with really talented artists with amazing sound, you know, sitting right there in front of them and hearing Samara Joy at the Falcon or E.J. Strickland or Kendrick Scott or, you know, some of these other people who we've had, you know, play there. I mean, they really knocked me out. And it's all fabulous, you know. It's just, you know, to hear artists play music live, to understand and appreciate the effort and energy and knowledge and talent that these people have to be able to do what they do.
Yes.
It's just an incredible, beautiful thing.
It is. It
and
is.
So, you know,
for me, it's therapy. I need to see live music, typically on a weekly basis. It is something that unites everyone, right? And it's just, you walk away from seeing live music and you just feel better. I mean,
totally. It is an amazing thing to me how much I and people like you love it so much. And then to know that there are just, you know, literally hundreds of millions of people who don't really care about it and don't do that. And I have, you know, family members who really never consider going out to hear live music. And it just completely baffles me.
Yes.
Because it
same.
is so special and it is such a unifier and it is so life affirming.
Yeah, no, it most definitely is. And it is, I'm always in awe of the musicians that I have seen, because like you say, what it takes for them to get on that stage and the years of learning and practicing and writing, and just their entire lives are about this. And for them to get up there, it's just quite a remarkable thing. And for us audience, lucky enough to be able to enjoy it, I don't know. I just don't know of anything better in the planet. But that's me, right? So that's me.
No, but you know, I'll tell you that as a presenter, I not only do I feel that way as an audience member, but as a presenter too. Like, I am so honored to be able to present these artists in Saratoga and, you know, and all these other places, to get them heard, to have the audiences come and attend these events and really enjoy themselves and learn something and get turned on to this music and get that life affirmation, you know, feelings that you and I are talking about. I mean, it is such an honor for me to be able to do what I do, because I am not only supporting the artists and allowing them and giving them, if you will, a platform to perform, but also to have them share their music with the audience, and then to have the audience have those experiences too. You know, it is a pinch me moment, you know, night after night, week after week.
I bet it must be. I totally get that. I totally can understand that. Yeah. So, well, I will just say, and I will usually say it at the end, but I'll say it now because I'm just thinking of it. Thank you. Thank you for presenting the music and for, it's hard work. I mean, you know, it's a lot harder than I think most people think, because it's everything. It's from, you know, opening the doors to the electricity to the booking to, it's not all fanfare and it's not all glory. It's a lot of hard work. So thank you.
It's a lot of hard work. Yeah, thank you. And, you know, just to say, like, even with Saratoga, you know, because I know we'll talk about that. But,
yes,
you know, it's at least a full year, if not more than a full year of work by me and a ton of other people to get this thing done. And then we do it, and it is what it is. You know, the artists do what they do at that singular moment. and the audiences have that singular experience. And then on Monday morning, it's like it's totally over. Like nobody's calling, there's no email, there's no text, and it's like, what about me? But then you just like literally start thinking about and working on the next one. It's like, it's really, it is an incredible experience, and it is a ton of work.
I have no doubt. Now, Danny Melnick is who we're talking to, by the way, if listeners are just tuning in right now to LocalMotion. We're talking to Danny Melnick. You formed your own company, Absolutely Live LLC, Absolutely Live Entertainment LLC, in 2007. One of the things that you do, which we just touched on, is you run the Freihoffer Saratoga Jazz Festival, which this year is going to be in its 43rd year, correct?
I think it's the 46th
year.
46th,
yes.
46 years, yeah.
When did you start working on that one? Like right after last year?
Actually, I think I booked a few artists before last year was done.
Wow.
I got to think about this. Yeah, something like that. But it was right on top of last year. We were already thinking about and planning this year. The artists usually need to route their tours, and so other presenters in the region have to also make offers. Sometimes I do block bookings with other presenters, but of course we don't want the artist to play too close to Saratoga, so there's all of that going on. And then, the money has to line up, and the dates have to line up, and the artists, have to be available and interested to play the event and affordable. And so there's just so much of that going on. And then for the entirety of the lineup, in my mind, for my career, all these years, that I've been doing this, I have always looked at the festival lineup like a jigsaw puzzle. And literally, like every band and every set on any stage sort of has to fit to this larger picture of like what we're doing. And what I mean by that is that there are times when, people will come to me and say like, why don't you do like an all-female singers day? And I think to myself, like, I don't really know if like 12 hours of all-female singers on two stages would really work for everybody in this audience. Like there are just things that sort of you think about and you look at literally in your mind, and also think about artistically and what that experience would be like for the audience. And you say like, okay, well, there has to be, at least in everything that I do, diversity in the artists, the genres of music we present, the styles of artists, the types of leaders we have. So we try to mix it up so much at Saratoga particularly, and really do a lot of different things there, jazz, blues, soul, African music, Latin music, fusion, funk. I mean, we do it all. And that's the beauty of the festival, that it affords us an opportunity to really be creative as producers, and to offer the audience a really beautiful jigsaw puzzle of music.
I think this festival that we're talking about, Saratoga Jazz Festival, more than many have the same people, generations of people coming decade after decade to it. Where you might have come in the 80s and 90s, now you're bringing your kids or your grandchildren. And tell me about the audience at this jazz festival.
Well, you're totally right about that. This audience is unbelievably dedicated to this event. A lot of people have been coming for, all 46 years, if not, 40 years, 35 years, et cetera, et cetera. They have been bringing children and now grandchildren. Now younger people are coming with their kids. And, there's just a lot of loyalty up there. The audience is from the New York State Capital District, of course, and also obviously all through the Hudson Valley and Westchester and Rockland and all over New Jersey and New York City, 5 boroughs and Long Island and Pennsylvania. We certainly get people from much further away. But a large majority of the audience, about 95% of the audience, is sort of split, literally in half by Capital District, Saratoga, Albany, Troy, Rensselaer, et cetera, and, the downstate, and then like the tri-state area, Connecticut, New Jersey, what have you. And the audience is super diverse, just like the music. And I think that's a really beautiful thing. And it's something that I'm unbelievably proud of, that not only that we as a festival have been able to create and offer a really beautiful program that is appealing to a very diverse audience, but also that the music itself and all of these amazing musicians and styles of music that they play also are overarchingly, appealing to diverse audiences.
Mm-hmm.
So we have people from all different backgrounds and all different races and all different cultures who are coming to Jazz Fest and hanging out together and really having this beautiful, life-affirming human experience. And I'm certainly into other styles of music, and I've, been to bluegrass festivals and folk festivals and country festivals and, metal events here and there. But like when you go to a jazz fest, particularly Saratoga, the audience is just totally amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go to those other events, it's like a monoculture.
Mm-hmm.
It's not to say that's bad, but it is what it is.
Right.
And it's true.
Right.
And the jazz festivals, particularly, I keep harping on this with Saratoga because it's so true there, that just an incredible audience, really different types of people, and everybody gets along.
Right.
And everybody comes back for this summer reunion.
Right. Right. People don't see each other all year, but they're like, oh, yes, we'll meet next year at the Jazz Festival there. And this year, the Saratoga Jazz Festival will be happening Saturday, June 24 and June 25. Now, you have two stages. You have the amphitheater, and I just want to mention some of the performers because tickets are on sale as of right now. You can go to spac.org. That's spac.org. Saturday's amphitheater lineup, Snarky Puppy, Angelique Kidjo, Corey Wong, Tower of Power, Chucho Valdez Quartet, and the Cindy Blackman Santana Band. Whew.
Yeah, killer.
Woo.
Really killer. It's going to be mind-blowing. People are
Yeah.
going to be floored by the time that day is over.
Yeah, and then on the second stage that day, Jazz Discovery Day. Now, I've had Kurt Rosenwinkel on my show before. I'm a huge fan of his. He's amazing. Awesome. Yeah. Yes. Emmett Cohen Trio will be joining on that second stage. Claudia Acuna, Carolyn Wonderland, big ties here to the Hudson Valley. Glenn David Andrews, who I've seen at the Falcon from New Orleans. I can't pronounce the last name.
It's Duduzo Mahatini.
Okay, thank you.
And he's a phenomenal jazz piano player from South Africa who records for Blue Note Records.
Wow.
And he's like McCoy Tyner meets Abdullah Ibrahim and everything in between. And he's a monstrous musician. And he's the type of artist that the second stage at Saratoga really offers us this opportunity to introduce new artists to the festival audience.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's one of those artists who a lot of...
Oops. Hello? Danny? Oh, I lost Danny. We're talking with Danny Melnick. He's actually calling us from St. John in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and I just lost him. So what we're going to do is I'm going to guess he'll call back. Let me just fill up. Oh, here he is. Let's do this. We're talking live radio. Danny?
I'm so sorry.
That's quite all right. You're calling from paradise. It's okay.
I am on the island of St. John.
Oh, I was just telling listeners this is why he did not hang up. He's actually in paradise, and something happened there with the connection. But yeah, thank you for calling us from the beautiful U.S. Virgin Island of St. John.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. So we were talking about the discovery. Yeah,
and he's the type of artist who
Oh, no. We lost Danny again. We're talking with Danny Melnick of Absolutely Live Entertainment. And he is on the U.S. Virgin Island of St. John, and we just got disconnected again. We'll try back. I'm sure he's going to call back. We're talking about the Saratoga Jazz Festival. And all right, I know you're there.
I know. And I'm not moving. I'm standing in the same spot, so hopefully this will
just don't get sunburned on our account.
Yeah, no, I'm in the shade at the moment.
Okay.
Anyway, I was just saying that, the audiences learn about these new artists at the festival and they flip out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I try so hard to book a number of artists who a lot of these audience members might not know about necessarily on purpose because I want to give them a larger stage to perform on. And I also want the audiences to always feel that they're going to discover something new at the festival. They do.
Right.
And it's a beautiful thing. And it's really, it's like a win-win for everybody. So I'm really excited about that.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Let me just tell you, the listeners, about some of the Sunday musicians that will be at the Saratoga Jazz Festival this June 24, 25. Sunday, the amphitheater, the one, the only, also just Grammy-winning Bonnie Raitt will be there. Wow. Pat Metheny will be there. St. Paul and their Broken Bones. And Hiromi, the piano quintet, featuring another Grammy-winning quartet, the Public Quartet, which, by the way, I just recently saw in Beacon at the Howland Chamber Circle event.
Oh, wow.
Amazing, amazing group. So, yeah, those four right there for the Sunday. Wow.
Yeah, so that's going to be in the main stage.
Yep.
And of course, Bonnie Raitt, epic, booking for me. She last played at the festival a couple years before my time there, like in 1988.
Oh, wow. So it's been a while.
And yeah, it's been a long time. I've been trying to get her for a long time, but we finally lined it up and we're super excited. And I'm thrilled to have Pat Metheny back. He's a neighbor and a dear friend and somebody I've worked with for many, many years. And the second stage, just, amazing, wonderful artists on
You've got
stage.
Samara Joy, who we just talked about. Amazing. That's great. Jupiter and Aquas. Also Melissa.
Yeah, they're from...
Yeah, go ahead.
Donna. Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, please.
Jupiter and Aquas are from the Congo and the Democratic Republic of Congo. And I saw them in New Orleans at Jazz Fest last year, and they destroyed the place. And I can't wait to see what happens in Saratoga on that Sunday. They're unbelievable.
Oh, so much fun. Oh, my gosh, yeah. I have my calendar marked already, so I'm blocking out my life this weekend.
Be with us.
And it just got to get up there. Also, Melissa Aldana will be at the Jazz Discovery stage on that Sunday. Mark Juliana and the Skidmore Jazz Institute faculty all-stars.
Yes, and that is an amazing band led by the bassist Todd Coolman, and that's an all-star jazz band. They're all teaching at Skidmore then, but they're going to do a centennial tribute this year. Wes Montgomery, the famous guitarist who just would have been 100 about 2 days ago, I think. Well, 2 days ago. Dexter Gordon, legendary tenor saxophone player, and Tito Puente also would have been 100 this year.
Wow.
And you asked me earlier about some of the famous things. I produced a few jazz cruises in the late 90s, and one of them, Tito Puente and Dave Brubeck were on the same cruise. And that was awesome. It was really a lot of fun. Tito was wild.
I bet.
But, so we're going to celebrate them and just, we do everything we can to have a good time up there, to treat the artists right. The artists love playing at SPAC. And it's a beautiful site, as you know. The people who I work with at SPAC are the best in the business. And Elizabeth Sobel and her team are just, dear colleagues and friends of mine. And we all work really hard. And I bring up an independent production team. And, we do it together. And it's just a fantastic experience.
I bet. And it's such a great venue. I mean, Saratoga Performing Arts Center. Oh, my gosh. I mean, SPAC, it is legendary. I mean, I think most anyone I know has been there, at least from the Hudson Valley or our area here. It is just a beautiful, beautiful venue. There aren't many like it, and the vibe up there and all the great things that they offer there, the food, the crafts, everything, the lawn seats, or you can do the pavilion seating. Again, tickets are on sale right now for the Saratoga Jazz Festival happening June 24, 25, and tickets available at spac.org. If you want to learn more about Danny, absolutelylive.net, and check out your very impressive profile and bio and your company, and keep up with all the wonderful music that you're putting out there to the world. People can check you out right there. So, Danny, wonderful.
Thank you, Rita.
You're welcome. And thank you. Thank you for taking the time. I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but what I'm going to do now is play some music. Tell me about, real quick before you leave, Angelique Kidjo.
Well, Angelique Kidjo is also a Grammy-winning artist, one of the global ambassadors of the world from Benin. And she is a killer singer and entertainer, one of the most exciting live entertainers I've ever seen.
Yes.
She's been at the festival in the past and numerous times, and I've worked with her at Carnegie Hall and quite a Newport Jazz and many other places over the years. And she is just a gem of a human being and a unique talent. And, she really gets the crowd rocking. And I mean, it's just, I'm so thrilled she's coming back to the festival. And, we're just really excited about it. And ticket sales so far have been really good. And people are responding beautifully to the festival. And, I just, of course, like I said earlier, just very excited and proud to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I really want to thank you, Rita, for all your lovely, attention to the festival and also just to the amazing things you do here on the station and your show every Wednesday.
Oh, thank you.
So many amazing people, so many of my friends, great musicians, and people who really, you're a part of our community in the Hudson Valley, and it's just so important. And
we all just do it together. We're all passionate about the same thing, and it's definitely a uniting thing for all of us. So it's just an honor to bring music to people that may not have heard some of these artists, and that's it. When I saw Angelique Kidjo before, and boy, when I saw her at another festival, I was blown away by her performance. Talk about powerhouse of a woman. I was like, and then when I saw her here on your lineup at the Jazz Festival coming up, I'm like, oh, that's just, the nail in the coffin there. It's just beautiful. So I'm gonna just play music that from musicians that will be at your festival. So Danny, I'll be in touch with you. Enjoy your final time in paradise with your family. Have a wonderful dinner and just safe travels home. We look forward to having you back in the Hudson Valley, and I will be in touch with you.
Cool. Thanks, Rita.
Thank you. Take care, Danny. Bye-bye.
Okay. All right. Thanks. All right. Bye-bye.
91.3 WVKR, Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. Danny Melnick. He's produced many, many festivals, tours, bands, and he is producing this year's, it's the 46th anniversary of the Saratoga Jazz Festival at SPAC. And the performers we went through already, you can look up the website. You can buy tickets, see the lineup of performers. 2 days happening Saturday, June 24 and Sunday, June 25. Now, because it is International Women's Day and because I love Angelique Kidjo's music and performance, let's play a track of hers. She will be a headliner at this year's Saratoga Jazz Festival. Let's take a listen right now to Angelique Kidjo, 91.3 WVKR, Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie.
I believe in love. So little girl, I want you to grow up and love yourself. Respect yourself and dream big and take the world by storm. Go out there and live.
If we choose love, if we choose love.
Hey, we've been here before. All the world's up in flames. That don't fix anything. Must be some other way. So much blood on the floor. Now we can't hide the stain. That won't fix anything. Must be some other way. Brothers, why we fighting each other? My sisters, why we let the men take our power? That's what they want. That's what they want. That's what they want. That's what they want. Our leaders conquer and they divide us. Our preachers teach the world of our colonizers. That's what they want. That's what they want. That's what they want. That's what they want. Let's be stronger than our fathers. Free ourselves and please our mothers. Can't you see we can't be governed if we choose love? If we choose love. Hey, we've been here before. All the world's up in flames. That don't fix anything. Must be some other way. So much blood on the floor. Now had a beautiful dream that I woke up and all of the bombs in the world had been blown. An unusual twist to our fate because none of them had any oil in the motor. It was almost the end of the world as we know it. The moment had never been closer. When we crawl out of hiding, we cry and decide it is time to start loving each other. Let's be stronger than our fathers. Free ourselves and please our mothers. Can't you see we can't be governed if we choose love? If we choose love. If we choose love. If we choose love.
I'm so grateful to be free, and I aim to keep it that way. No, they can't take that away from me, though they try harder day by day. And if I only had one prayer, well, thank you is all I would say. I'm so grateful to be free, and Lord, I aim to keep it that way. I'm so glad I have a voice. I'm gonna use it when I choose. So grateful to have that choice. And I know I've got plenty to lose to make actions of my prayers and to walk in the words I say. I'm so grateful to be free. Lord knows I aim to keep it that way. I'm thankful I've got eyes wide open so I may see the injustice in our lives and the power of our community. And I won't stop till my brothers and sisters can share in true equality. Yes, I'm thankful I have eyes that have been opened so I may see. And I'm so grateful to be free. Lord knows I aim to keep it that way. No, they can't take that away from me. Though they try every single day, we've got to do the work out here for our prayers, so that everyone can join in and say, I'm so grateful to be free, and I aim to keep it that way. Yes, I'm grateful to be free. Lord knows that I aim to keep it that way. I'm free, 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 I'm free.
91.3 WVKR Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. The incredibly talented Carolyn Wonderland from the album Moon Goes Missing. We heard To Be Free. She will be one of the performers at this year's Saratoga Jazz Festival. She will be there on Saturday, June 24th, and she will be on the Discovery stage. She's been around the Woodstock area for a really long time, and I've seen her perform a couple of times here in the area, and phenomenal performer from Texas, and lucky to have her this year at the Jazz Festival. Also at the Jazz Festival, prior to Carolyn, we heard Angelique Kidjo, the album Mother Nature, released back in 2021. We heard the track Choose Love, and Angelique Kidjo will be there on Saturday, the 24th, at the Amphitheater stage. Again, tickets available right now for the Saratoga Jazz Festival, happening June 24, June 25 at SPAC. 46th anniversary. Tickets available at spac.org. Get them while you can. Lawn seats, pavilion seats, wherever you want to sit. It is truly a remarkable lineup of musicians. It is every year, but this year really special. So that's what we heard. We're going to play one more from another performer. They'll be there Sunday, June 25th, and I've had the good fortune to see this band right here in Poughkeepsie at the Bardavon, and wow, great show. And now they'll be at Saratoga Jazz Festival on Sunday, June 25th in the Amphitheater. Let's take a listen to St. Paul and the Broken Bones here on 91.3 WVKR.
Look out there, that's where oil comes from deep in the ocean's groove. Used to be greener, glorious trees grew here. Now it's just condos and land. I am a starfish, washed upon the shore, stuck in the sun's bloom, just waiting to die. You are the strong tide, pulling me back into sea. Now I can't wait to live again. If you die alone, make sure it's worth it. Put your hand in the sand on the coast of Alabama. If you die alone, make sure it's worth it. Put your hand in the sand on the coast of Alabama. Imagine right there, that's where he lived. The governor won't be back. Get lost right here, that ocean salt. Hoping we'll be right back. I am the starfish, washed upon the shore, stuck in the sun's bloom, just waiting to die.
I watched him circle around the block, finally stopped at mine. Took a while before he knocked, like all he had was time. Excuse me, ma'am, maybe you can help. The directions weren't so clear. I'm looking for Olivia's aunt. They said I might find her here. Well, I looked real hard and asked him what she's got he's looking for. Said there's something I think she'd want to know when I let him in the door. It's not like me to trust so quick, caught me by surprise. But something about him gave me there in his eyes. Just like that, your life can change. If I hadn't looked away, my boy might still be with me now. He'd be 25 today. No knife can carve away the stain, no drink can drown regret. They say Jesus brings you peace and grace. Well, he ain't found me yet. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Sat down and took a deeper breath and looked right in my face. I heard about the son you lost, how you left without a trace. I spent years just trying to find you so I could finally let you know it was your son's heart that saved me and a life you gave us both. Just like that, your life can change. Look what the angels send. I laid my head upon his chest, and I was with my boy again. Well, I spent so long in darkness, I never thought the night would end. But somehow grace has found me, and I had to let him in.
.3 WVKR Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. You are tuned into Local Motion, broadcasting live from the beautiful campus at Vassar College. That was the title track from Bonnie Raitt's Grammy-winning release, Just Like That. It's her 18th studio album, the first one since her album from 2016. This album that we just heard the track from was nominated for a Grammy Award for Best Americana Album. Its title track, which we just heard, won Song of the Year. It was a massive upset at the Grammys. If any of you watched it, this was the song that won Song of the Year by Bonnie Raitt, and also Best American Roots Song and lead single from this album won Best Americana Performance. The incredible, the legendary Bonnie Raitt will be at the Saratoga Jazz Festival on Sunday, June 25, headlining the amphitheater stage, and that tickets available at SPAC.org. An incredible lineup. Thank you to Danny Melnick, my guest here during the 4 o'clock hour. We were talking all things Saratoga Jazz Festival, Bonnie Raitt being one of the headliners of that. Prior to Bonnie, we also heard St. Paul and the Broken Bones, their album Angels in Science Fiction. The track we heard was Sea Star. They'll also be part of the Saratoga Jazz Festival, and they'll be there on Sunday, same day as Bonnie. The lineup for Sunday at the amphitheater is starting out with Bonnie Raitt, then Pat Metheny, then St. Paul and the Broken Bones, and then Hiromi Piano Quartet featuring Public Quartet. Just an amazing lineup, and we'll keep playing tracks of performers leading up to the Jazz Festival, which again is June 24th and 25th. So we have some time, but tickets are on sale and selling briskly and nicely, according to Danny, our guest today. And SPAC.org for tickets and information to that. I know my weekend is blocked for that because, boy, those performers are just amazing. So it's 5:02. You are tuned into Local Motion. I'm your host, Rita Ryan, here each and every Wednesday from 4 to 6 p.m., bringing you music of the Hudson Valley. We talk to musicians that live here, those that come to perform here, as well as those coming to record in our world-class area recording studios. Every hour that we don't have a guest on this show, I started off by paying tribute to Tony Falco from the Falcon, who passed away October 27th of 2021. And he left with a really cool playlist on Spotify. So I pick one of his songs and I just keep going down in order and playing something so we can all think about Tony and the beautiful things that he left for all of us by leaving us the Falcon and all the wonderful things he did for the community here in the Hudson Valley. So here's one of the tracks that was on Tony's playlist. This is Justin Townes Earl. Let's take a listen. You'll recognize it. 91.3 WVKR.
Well, the Mississippi Delta is shining like a national guitar. I'm following the highway down the river through the cradle of the Civil War. I'm going to Graceland, Graceland, Memphis, Tennessee. I'm going to Graceland. Poor boy pilgrims with families, and we are going to Graceland. And my traveling companion, he's 9 years old, and he's the child of my first marriage. And I have reason to believe we all will be received in Graceland now. And she comes back and tells me she's gone. As if I didn't know that, as if I didn't know my own bed, as if I never noticed the way she combs her hair off her forehead. And she says losing love is just a window in your heart. Everybody sees you blown apart, everybody sees the wind blowing. Oh, Graceland, I'm going to Graceland. Poor boy pilgrims with families, and we are going to Graceland. And my traveling companion, he's ghosts and empty sockets. I'm looking at ghosts of empties. And I have reason to believe we all will be received in Graceland. Now there's a girl in New York City, she calls herself the human trampoline. Whenever I'm falling, flying, tumbling, in turmoil, I say, oh, so this is what she means. She means we're bouncing into Graceland. She says losing love is just a window in your heart. Everybody sees you blown apart. Everybody sees the wind blowing. Oh, Graceland, I'm going to Graceland. I may be obliged to defend every love, every ending, or maybe there's no obligations now. For reasons I cannot explain, there's some part of me wants to see Graceland. I'm going to Graceland. I'm going to Graceland. I'm going to Graceland.
Na 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 It is the middle of the night, right in the middle of the street. It could be uptown, downtown, but I can feel that beat. There is a marching drum, there is a song unsung. It could be your dream, my dream, it's not the only one. I'm a soldier marching in an army, got no gun to shoot, but what I got is one guitar. I got this one guitar. I see the rising smoke, I hear a heartbreak joke. Hey, all my brothers and sisters, I think it's time we spoke. I've only got 6 strings, but like a bell they ring. It's like a jet plane insane, crashing in my brain. I'm a soldier marching in an army, got no gun to shoot, but what I got is one guitar. I got this one guitar, and it goes na 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 So if you get knocked down, you gotta take a stand for all the outcasts at last who need a helping hand. So get your tambourines and turn your amps up loud and raise your voices, voices up above this crowd. 'Cause I'm a soldier marching in an army, got no gun to shoot, but what I got is one guitar. I got this one guitar. I'm a soldier marching in an army, got no gun to shoot, but what I got is one guitar. I got this one
91.3 WVKR Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. The one and only Willie Nile. One Guitar is the track off his album, The Innocent Ones. I've had Willie on the show here a couple of times. One of the quotes I remember when I was doing my homework and interviewing him, one of the quotes that somebody out there said, New Jersey has Bruce Springsteen, but New York has Willie Nile. Willie Nile's a native from Buffalo and has traveled the whole world and is quite an accomplished songwriter. He will be coming to the Falcon this Saturday, live at thefalcon.com to make your reservations online or just give them a call. Willie Nile this Saturday night. We started off this hour with a track for Tony Falco from his playlist that he left us by Justin Townes Earl. We heard the track Graceland, and the album was Kids in the Street from Justin Townes Earl's 2017 album. And that's what we do here. We start off every hour where we don't have a guest by paying tribute to Tony, and we pick a track from his playlist, and that was today's track. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Another great band playing at the Falcon this Friday with very special guest John Medeski is Club Delph. Let's take a listen to a track from their latest album titled You Never Know, right now on 91.3 WVKR.
Bonjour, vous êtes sur le répondeur de Mariam. Laissez votre message après, je vous appelle. Merci. Merci, bye. Chérie, je m'adresse à toi. Avec toi, chérie, la vie est belle. Bye-bye.
91.3 WVKR Independent Radio. Amadou and Mariam, the album Welcome to Mali, the track we just heard, Sabali. They will be performing at the Bardavon right here in Poughkeepsie on March 24th. What a special show to have them at. Amadou and Mariam. Tickets available at bardavon.org to check them out and their great lineup of shows coming up at the Bardavon. Next week's guest, by the way, will be Stephen Lamarca, who is part of the Bardavon organization. So we'll be talking to him about that show and many other shows and all the great things happening at Bardavon in UPAC. So stay tuned for that next week. We also heard Club Delph, their latest release called You Never Know. On their press list here, this guy, Jed Gottlieb from the Boston Herald, I think summarizes it best. Quote, crushed between the borders of Morocco, jam band land, and the kingdom of avant-garde jazz lies Club Delph. James Brown meets Sun Ra, unquote. I couldn't have said it better myself. Club Delph's latest release, You Never Know. We heard the track called Dervish Dance. They will be bringing their incredible style of music to the Falcon this Friday night with very special guest John Medeski. He's played with them countless times, and nice to know he's available this weekend to be there. So Friday night at the Falcon, Club Delph. Can make reservations at live@thefalcon.com or just give them a call. And then again, Amadou and Mariam at the Bardavon, March 24th. It's 5:22. I'm your host, Rita Ryan, here each and every Wednesday bringing you Local Motion. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel as well as giving a like and a follow to the Facebook page by the same name, Local Motion on 91.3 WVKR. These two gentlemen that we're going to hear from next are playing tomorrow in Woodstock at Colony. And this gentleman that we'll hear from first will be opening up and plays with Rhett Miller and doing his own set tomorrow at Colony. So Rhett Miller is doing a solo set tomorrow, and John Burdick is doing the little, I don't know if you call it opening, but he'll be starting the show off tomorrow. And let's take a listen right now to John's latest EP, Birds and Birds, right here on 91.3.
your name and kiss the ground. Beneath the feet that walk on me. Am I in love or in misery? They say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I no longer find that to be true. If I'm gonna get to heaven, I'm gonna have to go through you. Go through you. Baby, I'm a broken guy. I love you, but I don't know why. I'll try to fix things up with you. What else can I do? They say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I no longer find that to be true. If I'm gonna get to heaven, I'm gonna have to go through you. 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 Go through you.
91.3 WVKR, Rhett Miller, Go Through You, which is off his new album, The Misfit. Rhett Miller of the Old 97s. He was my guest here just a few weeks ago, and it was so much fun talking to him, having him in studio. And he told us then that he was playing a couple of shows at Colony, which is what he's doing tomorrow. Rhett Miller will be at Colony in Woodstock, and solo performance. Look forward to that. And tickets available at colony.com, colonywoodstock.com, or you can just go to the door. Rhett Miller and John Burdick will be playing tomorrow. John is also part of Rhett Miller's band, and he is what Rhett says the best guitarist in the Hudson Valley. That's what he says about John Burdick. So we heard music by John, his latest release called Birds and Birds. We heard Unison Waltz, and he'll be getting the stage ready tomorrow at Colony. So you can see Rhett Miller and John Burdick tomorrow in Woodstock at Colony. Tickets and info at colonywoodstock.com. I think I'll also repost the interview I did with Rhett Miller on the LocalMotion Facebook page in case anybody missed that. And actually, if you missed anything, or even today's interview with Danny Melnick, I upload all the interviews and all the shows on my YouTube channel, which is LocalMotion on 91.3 WVKR. If you consider giving a subscription to that, that would be cool. All right, this gentleman is going to be having a birthday party, which he does annually at Town Crier in Beacon. Let's take a listen right now to Mr. Tom Chapin here on 91.3 WVKR.
Seems like a bubble has been burst, like we're marching in reverse, heading straight from bad to worse, going nowhere. But though a lot of milk's been spilled, a lot of hopes and dreams been killed, instead of tearing down, let's build a bridge to somewhere. Build a bridge to somewhere, somewhere, somehow. Build a bridge to somewhere now. Try that part. Build a bridge to somewhere, somewhere, somehow. Build a bridge to somewhere now. There is a place in your hometown, all boarded up and tumbled down, where all the folks just hang around, going nowhere. The neighborhood with the rundown heart, pick up some wood from the lumber mart, grab what tools you got and start a bridge to somewhere. Build a bridge to somewhere, somewhere, somehow. Build a bridge to somewhere now. Sounds good, do it again. Build a bridge to somewhere, somewhere, somehow. Build a bridge to somewhere now. Build a bridge no matter how. Build a bridge no matter where. Build a bridge from any here. Build a bridge to any there. Build a bridge to somewhere, somewhere, somehow. Build a bridge to somewhere now. Johnny, play one. I got my troubles just like yours. Seems every time it rains and pours, and yet we stand on separate shores, going nowhere. You know we can't be satisfied until we're working side by side and build across the great divide a bridge to somewhere. Build a bridge to somewhere, somewhere, somehow. Build a bridge to somewhere now. Build a bridge from heart to heart. Build a bridge from creed to creed. Build a bridge that joins us all. Build a bridge, it's all we need. Build a bridge to somewhere, somewhere, somehow. Build a bridge to somewhere now. Last chance. Build a bridge to somewhere, somewhere, somehow. Build a bridge to somewhere now.
The room was rich with magazines. The chain had been released. In the darkness, you could see fingers sick with rings. There were no more wedding bells. The planes had split the trees. And there you sat on the edge of the bed with the Queen of London scene. And it was a time of infamy, a time of fallen kings. In the courtroom, been laid bare. The truth had been decreed. You thought you might get away. You thought that you might break free. It's when you found out that you'd been ensnared by the Queen of the London scene. in the orchard while you dreamed a shadow, it did appear. There was something cold and dark poured in your ear. You tried to listen and you tried to hear, but there were only screams and a mouthful of bad advice from the queen of the London scene.
.3 WVKR Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. Mark Delgado. The album is called Wildwood Road, and we just heard the track The Queens of Coming and Going. Beautiful album he came out with a couple of years ago. It's 12 tracks. MarkXDelgado.com. Better yet, you can go see him live this Sunday in Woodstock at Colony. ColonyWoodstock.com for Mark Delgado this Sunday. We also heard Tom Chapin and Friends at the Turning Point. This was released in 2018. Tom Chapin, the track A Bridge to Somewhere. And he will be performing a very special show this Saturday night in Beacon, right on Main Street at the legendary Town Crier. He celebrates his birthday there every single year by doing a show. And I just want to read you his Facebook page. Tom Chapin says, top 10 reasons to come to my birthday concert. Insert drum roll. 10, to celebrate my birthday. 9, to celebrate Michael's birthday. 8, to donate food to the local food bank. 7, to hear the brand new song that John Forster and I just finished. 6, to get a free CD of In the City of Mercy with any purchase from the Tom Chapin Boutique. 5, live Chapin music with stories, songs, friends, joy, hope, silliness, bad puns, good puns, possibilities, and family. 4, to hear my special guest and I sing a Pete Seeger song in Pete's hometown. 3, to pick up a copy of the DVD documentary titled Harry Chapin, When in Doubt, Do Something. 2, to see my amazing friends and bandmates John Cobert and Michael Mark, who have stuck with me for an incredible 35 years. 1, because we'll have a great time. This is one of our favorite concerts all year. See you this Saturday at Town Crier Cafe, Beacon, New York. And that is Tom Chapin. And I'm sure there might be still a few tickets available, but it likely will sell out. I believe it typically does. Tom Chapin, Town Crier, this Saturday. Info and tickets at towncrier.com. And that's town spelled with an E, crier.com. It's 5:41. We've got about 19 minutes left here of Local Motion. We're going to bring you... let's do these 2 tracks by these lovely ladies, and then we'll do musical happenings. Let's start this one off right here with Sarah Milanovic, 91.3 WVKR.
Said you're gonna shoot me down, put my body in the river. Shoot me down, put my body in the river while the whole world sings, singing like a song. The whole world sings like there's nothing going wrong. He shot her down, he put her body in the river. He covered her up, but I went to get her and I said, my girl, what happened to you now? I said, my girl, we gotta stop this somehow. Ooh, ooh, ooh. your turn to go.
This is for the loners, the misfits, and the rebels. The ones who had to start again and put their lives back together. This is for the heartache and the big mistakes you made. This is for the turnaround from all the games you played. This is for the loners, the misfits, and the rebels. Walking through the storms, beat down and weathered. This is for the suffering and all the tears you cried. The time has come to shed your skin, leave the pain behind. Might heal the pain, but time can't stop the rain. This is for the loners, the misfits, and the rebels. Walking to a different drum. You've got wings, don't need feathers. This is for the leap of faith in a world unknown. Time has come to spread your wings. The best is yet to come. Might heal the pain, but time flies away. This is for the loners who go to sleep at night, in your heart believing everything will be alright. This is for the misfits, invisible as a ghost. I can see you, and I believe in you the most. This is for the rebels, the truth is always worth the fight. Wade through the darkness until you find the light.
.3 WVKR Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. Carolyn Morosi, her EP title track, Loners, Misfits, and Rebels. All songs written by Carolyn Morosi. She was my guest here a little while back, now a couple months. I'm bad with timing. And you can visit her website and keep up with all the musical happenings in her world, carolynmorosi.com. We also heard Sarah Milanovic and Daisy Cutter, her latest release titled Northeast. We heard The Body Electric. And this is with Justin Gwip on drums, and it was recorded at Justin's studio up in Red Hook, Milan Hills studio, engineered by Justin Gwip. Lots of great artists on here, including guests Lucy Kaplansky, Richard Schindel, Abby Gardner, Ross Rice, Yeah, this is a beautiful album by Sarah Milanovic. And let's see, it is 5:50. It's time for musical happenings. We do this towards the end of every show, and we go in alphabetical order of some of our area venues and let you know what's happening in the hopes that you go support live music, the venues, and the musicians. There's nothing quite like it. Let's start off with the Bardavon and UPAC. Bardavon.org. March 24, Amado and Miriam. April 15, Natalie Merchant. April 28, Amanda Palmer. Barnstock in Woodstock, also at barnstockny.com. March 11th, Brazilian Bazaar featuring vocalist Mariana Song, Peter Einhorn, Jim Donica, Gil Oliveri, and Matt Garrity. Bearsville Theater in Woodstock, also bearsvilletheater.com. March 10th, Dave Leonard's annual Pisces Party. April 15, Rick Wakeman of Yes. May 19, Masters of the Telecaster. Caramore in Katona, New York. Info at caramore.org. March 24, Sean Mason Quintet. City Winery in Hudson Valley in Montgomery, also at citywinery.com. Saturday, brunch with Strawberry Fields. Colony in Woodstock, also at colonywoodstock.com. Tonight, Lone Riders of the Apocalypse. Thursday, Rhett Miller of the Old 97s and John Burdick opening. Friday, Paja Mason, Albino Love Slaves and Medicine Day. Saturday, John Sparrow with the Rock Academy. Sunday, Mark Delgado, and every Monday, open mic at Colony. Dogwood in Beacon, also at dogwoodbeacon.com. Thursday, Jacob Burns and Friends. Friday, The Lowliest One. Saturday, March Baby Birthday Dance. The Falcon in Marlborough and live at thefalcon.com. Thursday is the Mahavishnu Project. Friday, Club Delph featuring John Medeski. Saturday, Willie Nile. And Sunday, Brian Melvin Quartet. Fisher Center at Bard College. Info at fishercenter.bard.edu. March 9th through the 11th, a spring dance performance. March 11th, the Bard College Conservatory. Jazz Forum in Tarrytown, also at jazzforumarts.org. 2 shows each night, Friday, Saturday, the 10th and the 11th, John Faddis Quartet. Jazzstock at the Senate Garage in Kingston. Info at jazzstock.com. This Friday, March 10th, Jamie Baum Septept. Levon Helm Studios in Woodstock, also at levonhelm.com. March 24, the Rural Alberta Advantage. April 1, Midnight Ramble. April 7, John Schofield. April 13, Cabinet. Sugarloaf Performing Arts Center. Info at sugarloafpacny.com. March 11th, Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. March 19, the Irish Tenors. The Stissing Center in Pine Plains, also thestissingcenter.org. March 17, Jeremiah Johnson. March 25, Grain Thief. Tarrytown Music Hall in Tarrytown, also at tarrytownmusichall.org. March 10th, the Red Hot Chili Pipers. March 11, David Cross. Last but never least, the Town Crier in Beacon and towncrier.com. Friday Thursday is an open mic. Friday on the Salon stage, Kevin McCrell. Friday on the main stage, Sugar Mountain celebrating the music of Neil Young. Saturday on the main stage, Tom Chapin's birthday party. Sunday brunch with Margie Zintz, and Sunday evening with Derek Warfield and the Young Wolf Tones. And that's what we got for musical happenings this week on Local Motion. I am going to leave you out with a track from Larry and Teresa, who were guests here on the show 2 weeks ago. And next week, I'll return with Stephen LaMarca from the Bardavon and UPAC. In 2 weeks, we'll have Byron Isaacs from the Lumineers on the show. In 3 weeks, David Barron, who produced the latest Lumineers album. And then starting April, we've got a full lineup there as well. Keep it tuned where it is right here, WVKR. Now, Larry and Teresa have a new album out that we played a few tracks from when they were my guests 2 weeks ago. It's called Live at Levon's. It's got 12 tracks and it is phenomenal. Larry Campbell and TeresaWilliams.com if you need more info or want to find out where to buy their latest music. It's all recorded a couple of years ago at Levon Helm Studios. It was recorded live in front of an audience, and it's just a really, really wonderful album. I'm going to leave you with a track of that, and I'll be back next week. And until next time, I wish you peace.
And I will always want to send this out to our good friends Alan and Merrill. Heaven knows I've been forgetful. Lately my mind can't get no rest. And if it seems I've been neglectful, I'm just tired and I ain't been at my best. I know you've been missing my affection, making you think I wanna move on. You're worried I'm looking in a new direction, but this is what you'll see before I'm gone. Baby, the sun won't rise, the moon won't appear, and the stars will fall when I stop loving you. When I stop loving you, somebody will close my eyes, and I'm gonna hear the air.